This is a Fox News alert. Iran has fired multiple missiles toward the U.S. consulate in Erbil, Iraq. A senior U.S. official tells Fox none of the missiles hit the consulate. Our own Jennifer Griffin is reporting that there are Americans assigned to Erbil who live and work near the consulate, including military personnel. Now, there are no injuries that have been reported. Your reaction to this breaking news is former CIA station chief and Fox News contributor Dan Hoffman. Dan, we're still getting more information on this. What can you tell us about this, and what does this mean for the U.S.?
Well, this has been a regular tactic that Iran has employed against the U.S. presence in Iraq, frankly, for decades. You know, this is Iran wants the remaining U.S. Military presence in Iraq to leave. They're trying to induce the government of Iraq to do that, even though the United States has shifted to an advisory role. Iran is also trying to deliver a message to us regionally. Just last week, the Israelis reportedly struck a couple of IRGC generals or officers in Damascus, Syria. Iran may be trying to exact revenge on that target as well. And hardliners in Iran are, seeking leverage against us as we negotiate what, to me, looks like a pretty bad deal, a JCPOA nuclear deal that looks a lot like the first one, which was very flawed.
Yeah. Then my second question is, why strike now? Is it because of the position of the United States? We know what China is doing. We know what Russia is obviously doing, attacking Ukraine. It just seems like our enemies now are all acting all at once, or positioning themselves to act.
Yeah, well, that's been a pretty continuous strategy that Iran has deployed against us. So I'm not so sure that the timing is necessarily, a huge factor here. Remember, North Korea is launching ballistic missile tests right now. That's a concern. The terrorists are gathering strength in ungoverned space in Afghanistan. Obviously, we've got Russia's unprovoked barbaric invasion of Ukraine, and China threatening Taiwan and ripping us off in the United States. So there's a lot of threats out there. I'll tell you, when I was at the CIA, when Michael Morrell was our acting director, he used to tick off all those threats to our national security when we traveled together in war zones. And then he'd tell our young officers that the silver lining in all those dark clouds is that there was an important job for all of us to do on the front lines, protecting our nation, detecting all those threats to our national security so we could preempt them before they're visited on our shores. That's an issue with this strike in Erbil, is the extent to which we could have collected intelligence on the strike before it happened. Very hard to do, and especially if that strike happened from Iran as opposed to Iran using its proxy militias in country.
Yeah. Dan, I want to get your reaction to what's happening in Ukraine. This week, we found out that the president and the National Security Council didn't think it was a good idea to give the Ukrainians those jets. They said that Putin would see it as provocative, that it would escalate the tension there. Where are they getting that information from? Is it our assets that are on the ground that are providing the NSA that information?
So it could be coming from just direct line of contact between our Department of Defense and their Russian counterparts. That's official channels, and it's happening. It's to deconflict. It's been going on for a long time. It could be that. I would expect it's more likely that than clandestine reporting, but it also could be clandestine reporting. At the end of the day, at least in my view, if we're giving the Ukrainian Stingers and Javelins, giving them fighter aircraft is kind of a distinction without a difference. Either way, they're using that equipment to target, lethally, to target Russian tanks and their soldiers. And right now, Ukraine is in an extraordinarily perilous situation. And I think one of the things for this administration, looking back, the question we'll have to ask is, did we do enough to deter the invasion in the first place? Well, the answer to that is no. We ran kind of a live Twitter feed of declassified CIA intelligence reporting on an imminent invasion, but we didn't help Ukraine prepare for it. We didn't help make it clear to Russia would be involved spilling an inordinate amount of their blood and treasure, so they went ahead and did it. And I think it's just got to weigh on the conscience of our elected officials, especially President Biden, what we don't do to help Ukraine. That's a very significant, I think, issue. I'd have a hard time putting my head to the pillow at night, frankly, without giving the Ukrainians the MiG fighter aircraft that they need so much.
Yeah. Dan Hoffman, the former CIA station chief in Moscow, a man that knows his stuff. Dan, thanks so much for joining us on Cross Country tonight.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.